Joined by Squad 17 early enrollee Brian Polendey, tight end out of Denton, Texas, Geyer High School. Brian, welcome to the U, and thank you very much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
What have your first several days on campus been like?
I mean, they've been great. Like the first couple of days, I didn't even have class, so I got a chance to pretty much explore the campus and then go to a couple of orientations and just see what life at the U is like. And then, I don't know, ever since then, I mean, I haven't missed home at all. I mean, this is home now. So,
that's good.
Yeah.
What makes the U feel like home to you?
I think the people more than anything. I mean, you can walk up to anyone, and if you don't know where you're going, they point you in the right direction. And, I mean, it's just a sense of family. I mean, the guys on the team are welcoming, but they hold you accountable. So, I mean, I like that atmosphere.
You mentioned that sense of family. How evident was that to you when you were going through the recruiting process that's what Miami has?
Yeah, I mean, I found that most evident with Coach Rick. He's a man of God, and it just pours out of him when you talk to him. And it's the same with all the coaches that he hired. I mean, they're all family guys. They have kids. They know what it's like to be where I'm at. They've been at this level and higher. So, I mean, it's just great.
What made you decide to commit to Miami when you look back on your recruiting process?
Well, I committed, I think it was last March, I want to say. I came down here for my first visit, and then, like, 2 days later, I was like, this is where I'm going to school. And, I mean, I grew up on the West Coast. I was born in Oregon, so I grew up an Oregon Duck fan. But I moved to Washington, and that kind of faded away. But I've always been a fan of college football, and, I mean, I didn't even start playing football until, like, the beginning of 8th grade. And then it was really until high school that I started to think this is something I can do in college. So, I mean, to come to the U, once I learned more about college football, I was like, this is the spot. And it's been the spot. And I think with Coach Rick, they're just doing everything right now and holding everyone accountable to be successful. So that's the direction we're headed, I think.
You mentioned that you just started playing football a few years ago. Is it kind of surreal to think that you went from that to now being at a powerhouse football program just a few years later?
Yeah, I mean, in 8th grade, I played in 2 games, and I hurt my ankle. So it was really my freshman year of high school was my real first year of football. And then after that, I moved to Texas, so I experienced 3 years of Texas high school football, and it was unlike anything I'd ever seen. I played in Cowboy Stadium. I played in a 6A program, so I mean, I really couldn't have asked for more. But looking back on that now, I was a baseball player and a basketball player growing up. I did martial arts and swimming and all that, but football was really something my parents never let me do. But I moved so much that my mom wanted me to make some friends.
Sure.
So she put me in football, and then it seemed to work out. So.
How much do you think that playing a bunch of different sports, that's something a lot of people are starting to focus on specific sports, but playing such a variety, how does that help you with football?
I mean, with football, if you look at all the different positions and the body types and the players and all the personnel that's required, as far as the tight end, you do so many different things compared to other positions. It just makes you really well equipped to handle all that you need to do. And different sports call for different maneuvers in different positions. So, I mean, all that has kind of prepared me for where I am today.
What are your strengths on the field?
My strengths? I mean, I get a lot of compliments on my blocking, and my high school was primarily run-oriented, but, I mean, I did get some receiving time, but, I mean, most of the time I was putting my hand in the dirt and just moving people. So I think I'm not afraid to put my face mask in someone else's face mask, but, I mean, I don't like to back down from anybody, so I think that's my greatest asset.
It seems like a lot of tight ends, no matter the level, don't really enjoy blocking. That's something that's always like, well, he needs to be a better blocker. Haven't even played college football yet, and you're already comfortable blocking. Is there anything about it that you particularly enjoy, or where does that passion for blocking come from?
I mean, I think it goes back to that sense of family, because you look at the team as a whole. You look at, on the offensive side of the ball, you have your running backs, who every down, they're either blocking, receiving, or they're running their tail off. And then for the offensive line, if you work that hard and you see your back running that hard, I mean, it just gives you a sense of pride. And it's like, if I do this, I'm going to watch that man score, and I get to pick him up in the end zone. And that just makes me want to do my best and celebrate with my boys.
What do you think you have to work on the most?
On the most, probably just being a complete tight end. And most of the offense is receiving at Miami. So I'll just learn from the older guys and study the playbook to the best of my ability and just soak up all the coaching that they have here and then develop physically. Because, I mean, as an early enrollee, I have a pretty big advantage. I have a longer time to develop than other incoming freshmen. So, I mean, at that point, I mean, as a receiving tight end, I'll be way above where I was a year ago, and my blocking will only get better, and then physically, I'll just develop into what I want to be.
What made you decide to enroll early, and how difficult was it to be able to make that happen?
Well, my first offers came at the end of my sophomore year of high school, and that was when I went to my school counselor, and I was like, look, how do I do this in case I want to do it? And I mean, we figured it out, and I went on a track, and I took online classes. I took all core classes my junior year. It's probably my most difficult year of high school. And, I mean, it was insanely difficult, I know, for my parents, because my dad actually got relocated to Tampa, but they wanted me to stay in Texas so I can finish out my high school career. So my dad, he actually lived away from home for a year, and then I lived with my mom and my sister, and he commuted back and forth via airplane.
Wow.
So, I mean, it was difficult being away from my dad, but it kind of prepared me for college. And then I got to take care of my mom, which is always a good thing. Make sure she's all right. So.
Of course. You mentioned being prepared for college. What are you most excited for now that you are in college?
To win. That's why we're all here, really. I mean, everyone wants to see the U get back to where it used to be, and that was relentless effort and just doing what you're supposed to do on a daily basis, and that's what I want to do. I mean, I'm here to work, and I'm ready to do that. So,
what do you think it'll be like that first spring practice, first official practice as a Hurricane, that moment you step on the field at Green Tree?
I mean, I got the opportunity to go to a practice last year, and it looked like so much fun. And when I put that helmet on, it's going to be different because I've seen all these people wear that helmet, and I'm just going to want to do my best to uphold the Hurricane name. So,
well, there you have it from Brian Polendey, tight end, early enrollee from Squad 17. Brian, welcome to the U once again, and thank you very much.
You.